So she was talking about, the importance of getting away and how valuable it's been for her. And I was like, I realized that I don't even remember the last time I like went away by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and now, like the last time I thought about like planning like a little self retreat or whatever, I was like, I actually have some anxiety around it now. Like, I don't even know how I feel being in an unfamiliar place by myself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely haven't done it since, I definitely don't think I've done it since the little one was born.
Yeah.
And she about to be 8.
Wow.
Like, I know I went on a work conference trip when I was pregnant with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the last thing I remember. Like,
Wow.
I don't remember going away by myself. And I think for years, like I haven't really been like a very solo kind of person. Like I like being with someone, like I like companionship.
Mm-hmm.
But as time has gone on and I recognize like how much rest I get when it's just me, like mentally, physically, emotionally, it's like I need to do this.
And you don't
You
know you
know?
need it until you experience it. Cause we be thinking like, yo, no, if we go on a vacation, that we're away from like our regular environment, but having your family there, mom mode is never gonna turn off. Like it's that
Yeah.
I just in case, like how we are. So like you actually start having the moments and it's just like, oh wow, like my nervous system actually needs this, even though, so I love
Yeah.
he does that monthly like self retreat days. Like we gotta note that. Definitely have to note that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, informally flowing, we're gonna flow right into it because I feel like this is just the energy is there. Flowing right into it. Welcome, welcome, all of our listeners. My name is Shawana Ward,
And my name is Erin Wiley.
and welcome to our platform, the Firstborn Daughters podcast. Today, we have a special treat. I think it's right in time for the season that we're in. We're getting ready to usher out of fall and go into winter. And so, self care, and not just self care in the sense of, I think, like for a while, self care was like kind of portrayed in this, like, oh, go get your nails done, oh, go to the spa, like those type of things, which I think are great and needed. But during this time, and especially with how things are going just as like a nation, it is very important right now to nurture the inside. So we're going to talk today about creating and cultivating self sanctuary. I wanted to do something different today. And Erin, you tell me how you feel about this. I wanted to start,
Okay.
and I think I want to start this moving forward. I want to start in prayer. How do you feel about it?
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay. So, to all our listeners, if you're listening now, if it feels good to close your eyes, it feels good to just bring your gaze low, to ground yourself right where you are, to realize that you are here in this present moment. If it feels good now, to inhale in through the nose, inside out of the mouth, allowing that breath to fill the lungs, to travel down the throat and into the body, feeling your mere existence flow into your vessel, inhaling in through the nose, exhaling out. Allowing that breath to literally open up the heart space to be open to receive whatever it is you need on today. One more time. Inhale in through the nose and sigh out of the mouth. Preparing our minds, our body, and our spirits for this prayer before we begin. Spirit and God above, we thank you. We honor you today. We thank you for every listener. We thank you for ourselves showing up today. Thank you for a right mind. Thank you for this breath that continues to pump through our lungs. Thank you for the blood that flows through our veins. We just express gratitude in a time where we can complain, in a time where we can ask why, or in a time where we can be just in a state of not understanding. We choose to just rest in gratitude in this moment. We just thank you for everything that is aligning for our goods. We understand that in times of shifting and transformation, that all things fall apart to fall together. And so we just thank you for any big changes we may be experiencing right now. We thank you for even things we don't understand with the way that our economy may be going, or things that may have been going on in our society. We rest in knowing that we are always protected, we are always divinely guided, and that everything is working for our good. put our faith and our trust in the universe and God, your higher power. We put our trust in ourselves, our intuition. We put our trust in our support system and our family. And we ground knowing that all is well, all is well, all is well. Ashe and amen.
Ashe, amen.
Hey,
Oh, yeah, I like that.
that
That's
felt
good.
good. Yeah, y'all. I could not just all the way roll in without acknowledging. I just know it's a lot going on right now. Like for a lot of people, I know that there is like not just personally, like what's going on TV right now. And we are getting ready for like a big change and a big shift in what's going on. And I just know a lot of people are really struggling to kind of like latch on to some type of stability or just some type of comfort. So my prayer and my hope is that anybody listening just felt some type of comfort or some sense of stability by being able to just pause and breathe and know that you're still here, so you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, when we get into the holiday season, for me, I'm privileged that I love the holidays. I have, incredible family, incredible memories, all good things associated with the holidays. And, recently, like me and some of my close friends were kind of exchanging back and forth about, how it's just not that for all of us. It's not that for everyone. And, it really caused me to like reflect on like, how do I greet people today? Like there are people that I know I could just be like, oh, happy Thanksgiving, happy gratitude day, happy whatever.
Yeah.
And there's other people where it's just like, please be okay today.
Yeah.
Like do whatever you need to be okay today, whatever this day represents for you, whatever it means to you, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, whatever you honor or don't think is worthy of honor, like whatever, like do what you need. And I think, as you talk about self-care and what it really means, it's really about like making sure you are taking responsibility for meeting your own needs. And that's really like the part that I've been struggling with and working through with my therapist. Like I have a responsibility. I'm great at taking care of all the other people's needs, and my own, they're just like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Right. Whenever. Just kind of push it to the way.
I'm good. I'll be okay. I just need to do this other thing first.
I think it's so important that you highlighted that because we so easily kind of brush it to the side though. It's this nonchalant kind of like not even a thought like I know me, I'm good. We just kind of get used to showing up, but the more I feel like life really shifts into this space where we're really aligned and in tune. It calls for more introspection, which means like I have to take those moments of self-care. I have to sit still. I have to like kind of shut the noise out, get away from the distractions of the regular everyday rat race and really just settle in. It's like you ask for a certain type of life and certain expansion. It's like, well, this type of person flows like this, and you can't really be in tune and hear and trust if you're constantly distracted or you got all your hands in different pots. It's like something that we should not easily push it aside, but we do. And so I think that the timing is also perfect to segue into our first point, and that is seasonal depression. Like that's also very, very high at a time right now. And I think more and more people, especially with us kind of, I'm putting quotation marks around shutting down again with like the viruses and stuff that's going around. People are sitting with themselves again. They're recognizing that, I may actually be experiencing a little bit more depression than I thought I was. When you're busy, it's kind of hard to notice, but being still, you kind of like, oh, these are kind of symptoms of depression. Maybe I'm high functioning. A lot of people are recognizing your high functioning depression, or that just with the seasons change, like, oh, like we really are connected to nature. Like when there's less sunlight, our body literally retreats. Yeah. What are some things that you do? Maybe if it's not just seasonal depression, but times when you feel like you just want to kind of go introspective, you're not feeling as social, maybe your emotions are a lot more heightened. Fall and winter are just the seasons for that. So what are some things that you do to kind of like ease through those feelings?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start by saying that, and I feel like every episode I'm going to say this, it's like, these are the things I know to do and often don't do. Yeah. And it's, I have places that I know of that are like sanctuary places for me. They are typically outside of my house because, like you said, when I'm home, I wear the hat. and I it's automatic. Like I don't know how to shut it off. If my people are around, my antenna is always pointing towards who might need something, trying to anticipate. And oh, girl, let me tell. I'm not even gonna get into this now, but I saw Inside Out too, and I saw like the whole thing about anxiety, and I was like, this is my life
Yo,
on in the children's movie on the screen.
that
What?
movie is so
Broke me down.
powerful.
It
So,
broke me down.
mm-hmm.
I was a wreck. But anyway, so what I feel like what's most important for me, and as I've gotten older and gotten more understanding of my spirituality and what my needs are, is exactly that. I need silence. Like I need, and it's not just quiet, like no noise. It's just I need the opportunity to like disengage
Mm-hmm.
for like my body, for my mind, for my emotions to not be triggered or connected to anyone. So like for me, I go to the shrine, which is local here in the DC area, which, I don't practice the faith anymore, but it's still a very peaceful space for me and always has been. So I go and I have certain places there where I go and sit and write, or I've written poems there just because like it's a sanctuary space where my creativity is able to flow through me because there's no noise and I'm
Mm.
not distracted. And then like if I can go anywhere and sit by water, I don't I'm not a water person. I can't swim, but I like to be near water because it just I don't know, something about it just soothes me. So those for me, a journal, some quiet, some peace. I don't mind if there's people around as long as I am clear that I don't have to engage with them.
Yeah.
So it's usually like, oh, there's strangers around. That doesn't bother me. I don't know you. I don't have to talk to you. But I also have the freedom that if something in me says, hey, look up for a second and interact with this person, I have the freedom and the flexibility to do that. So it's really just about being quiet enough to hear what my body and my spirit is calling for and giving myself permission to actually honor it. That's how I move. That's how I try to do a better job of it because I know to do it, but definitely when I'm in chaos, I don't always, I don't get high marks for that,
Yeah.
but I'm working on it.
Awareness is there. The awareness is there. And we
Yeah. How about you?
very similar, very similar. Water is huge for me. Like I even noticed the length of my showers get longer during this time because even standing with the shower head and just, kind of letting that water is literally what do they say? Water's a conduit. Is that what they say?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I just feel like whatever the day has going on kind of washes away. I feel like I connect to my spirit guides when I'm like submerged around in water. So I like right now before it gets too cold, I still try to like maybe I'll go sit on the beach with my blanket or there's a lake that I like to do yoga by. I gotta bend like yoga for me, like really got me through. So I'll say that because I'm the same way when the chaos is going on, it's not as easy sometimes to implement the modalities, but they're really powerful when we have a moment to do it, even if it's like 2 minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's physically uncomfortable for me, which was something that I've recently experienced that I haven't in a while, yoga really pulls me out of that because when I get physically overstimulated, everything else starts going like haywire. So it's like I gotta
Yeah.
get I don't care where I am. I will start bending, pulling these arms up, doing a back bend. Like yoga for sure is something that I am a little bit more frequent with during these times. Um, Most recently, I feel like I have been in a phase of my healing where I'm allowing myself to resonate with the feelings that I don't like. So like sadness, anger, ones that I try to like alchemize the most. Like I don't want to feel this, so I'm about to like creatively channel this into something else, which is beautiful, but sometimes you really just have to sit with stuff. So I've been allowing myself to just sit in my emotions. Like during my moments of
Mm-hmm.
stillness, I have those moments like you where I need nothing going on, like literally no phone, no sound, no nothing. I just need it to be still, so whatever needs to happen can happen. And then sitting in whatever happens, I noticed myself in the past, like if like I said, if certain emotions came up I didn't like, I was trying to pray it off, or I'm trying to go distract myself to do something else. These feelings are trying to make me aware of something, regardless if I like it or not. And so kind of just allowing myself to be in those, that's been a new thing that I've been practicing. So sitting with the feelings that I don't
Mm-hmm.
like as much, um And also, though I feel like this is a great time of isolation, I try to schedule times to be social. So that's why I was really intentional even about us getting this stuff on the calendar beforehand, because I knew we were going to need these moments and pockets to just, this is healing for us to be up here and do. So
Yeah.
making sure that I am at least once a week reaching out to somebody in my support system just to connect, because I need that support. So I'll say that's where I land.
Yeah. And I think, that the thing about sitting with your emotions, because I think if we circle back to seasonal depression, I think that's kind of what a lot of people are going through. Like it obviously carries a lot of emotion for them. So it's like you have to sit with it, but you also don't want to sit with it because all around you, everybody else is like joy, happy, holidays, celebrate. And it's like you feel a little bit like the odd one out because it's like, even though there's other people that experience it too, but when you're having your own personal experience, it's like nails on a chalkboard, like all of the commercials and the colors and the lights. And it's like, I am not there,
Like,
and I think, the practice of sitting with your emotions, like I can tell straight up, like my therapist called me on that early. She was like, oh, you don't like to feel your own emotions. You don't like to feel the hard emotions. I was like, you ain't have to say it like that, but absolutely true. Like, and for me, the challenge is creating and finding the space where I feel free to do that. Because if I'm at home, I feel like there's a clock ticking somewhere. Like I only have X amount of time before I have to do something. So if I'm going into something deep, I feel like I have a time limit. And I'm like, that's not, you don't want limitations around trying to move through that kind of thing. If I'm in public, it's like, I don't want to be ugly crying around the strangers, So it's like in my mind, I have these like, I don't know, like, what's the word I want to use? Criteria for like when I'm able or fit to like do that. And nothing meets the criteria. So I never do it.
right.
And it's, what I'm saying? So it's like recognizing these things about myself is good. And I still have a lot of work to do to like really get to the point where I can come out, I can get out of my own way to do the things that I actually need, for my own healing.
So, God, you always just flow right into it. So I feel like even that is perfect to segue. Something that I'm starting actually tomorrow, I'm going to post about it after we get off of our call, doing Detox December. I feel like we get to these phases where it's like, okay, we know what we need to be doing, but because there's just so much stimuli, we feel like you said the criteria is never there. So I took it upon myself to start just to do a 15-day detox from the 1st to the 15th, removing things like social media, things that kind of suck away your time without you noticing, limiting processed foods, less screen time, like even like if for work, like once I don't have to be on the laptop anymore, coming off of there. And in the place of that, like social media, and even like if you indulge like substances, alcohol, and like sexual activity, so things that you can kind of take away your subconscious stimuli and allows room for those moments, like you said, to be like, actually, I'm gonna take this extra. I'm not scrolling on my phone these 10 minutes. I'm gonna go breathe for 5, and then I'm gonna process for the other. So I think fasting is a very good practice also to implement during this time. If it who does experience seasonal depression, and like Erin was saying, being on socials, you're kind of trying to not be triggered by things that may have you go into these emotions. But if you're scrolling and you're constantly seeing people who are maybe experiencing joy or giving the illusion that they are, because a lot of it is that too, it could be triggering. Right. Removing that social media. No, like I'm, during this time, I'm probably not gonna get on like social media like that for real. So starting to create a comforting daily routine, I think is very powerful during this time.
Yeah, and I mean, routine is something that, as I get older, I find myself to be such a collection of paradoxes because it's like I thrive with routine. Like I'm much more comfortable if there are steps for me to follow. Like I'm very process oriented. Like give me the steps and I will do them and everything is great. But where I struggle is I